Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's good to see you. It's your T-shirted historian, and once again, this is another day where we talk about what you're going to be losing to OGL 1.1, which evidently, according to Gizmodo, is going to be called OGL 2.0 now. I'm guessing that due to all the backlash that's currently going on towards Wizards of the Coast, they're kind of rethinking this thing a little bit, and that's good. But at the same time, it's not enough. I mean, seriously. Let's say just, I mean, for giggles, that Wizards of the Coast suddenly decides to put out an announcement that says, okay, OGL 2.0, we're going to leave everything just like it was for OGL 1.0A. And this time we're going to add in irrevocable to the clause, so it can't ever be revoked by any future iteration of Wizards of the Coast, and yada, yada, yada. I mean, like, so you've already messed up. Okay? You've got all these game companies who are bailing left and right. You've got all these people who are trying to hastily, rebrand their stuff and make it sanitize it from all of the OGL influence, from anything that could be taken down by WotC. It's just you played yourself, guys. You played yourself. So yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter what you do at this point, because you done messed up. And you done messed up really, really bad. And I don't know if you can recover from it. I mean, maybe, I don't know, if you offer every single gamer out there, like $1,000, maybe you could do it. But I doubt it. Just a spitballing an idea. I mean, how many of us can there actually be, right? But anyway, we did get a leaked document up on Twitter. I want to go ahead and show that before I really commence this stream. I can't verify who it's from or where it came from, but seems to be kind of reputable. I mean, it says, "Hi, I'm an employee at WotC, currently working on D&D Beyond." And we know that D&D Beyond is kind of what they've been using to speak to everyone through, right? Rather than addressing things through their main channel on Twitter. Matter of fact, they were supposed to have a live stream today. They canceled. And if you look on the Twitch streams for D&D Beyond, they canceled those too. So evidently they're a little bit scared right now. And that's probably because of all the people who are right now canceling their Dungeons and Dragons Beyond subscriptions. But anyway, as it says, yeah, I'm an employee at WotC, currently working on D&D Beyond and with D&D business leaders on the health of the product. If you want, I can, let's see the rest of that text. I can provide proof of this. I'm sending this message because I fear for the health of the community I love. And I know what the leaders at WotC are looking at. They are briefly delaying rollout of OGL changes due to the backlash. Their decision-making is based entirely on the provable impact to their bottom line. I bet it is. Specifically, they're looking at Dungeons & Dragons Beyond subscriptions and cancellations, as it is the quickest financial data they currently have. They are still hoping the community forgets, moves on, and then they can push this through. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Once all the heat dies down, they just quietly shove in, all the changes that they were going to make with 1.1 that we knew they were going to make. I've decided to reach out because at my time at WotC, I've never once heard management refer to customers in a positive manner. Their communication gives me the impression that they see customers as obstacles between them and their money. The DDB team was first told to prepare to support the new OGL changes and online portal when they got back from the holidays, and leadership doesn't take any responsibility for the pain and stress they cause others. Leadership's first communication to the rank and file on the OGL was 30 minutes on 1/11/23. That was yesterday when we first got that Twitter notification that everything would be addressed. This was the first time that they even tried to communicate their intentions about the OGL to employees, and even in this meeting, they blamed the community for overreacting. They blame us for overreacting. We had leaked OGL 1.1 documents that said, you have to register your product with us or you can't publish no more. Oh, and we reserve the right to take 25% of your cut if it's above a certain amount. And you have to use Kickstarter. And we can terminate your license for any reason whatsoever. And we can take all your stuff and use it ourselves in our own products. And you have no legal recourse against us if you sign this document. I'm like, what moron is going to sign this? I mean, seriously. I don't care how excited a new and up and coming, creator is. I don't think anybody's going to sell their soul to D&D quite the way that they're wanting you to. Let alone industry veterans who have role-playing publishing history, right? And even independents who may not be really big, but still maintain a decent living, or in my case, I can buy a pizza every once in a while. But yes, as I will repeat, the main thing this leadership is looking at is DDB subscription cancellations. Hope your day goes well. P.S. I will be copying and pasting this message to other community leaders. So there we go. So this afternoon, I heard the DDB databases actually were a little bit staggered because the number of people who are logging in and straight up canceling their subscriptions. I haven't quite gone to that step yet myself. I'm just using a free DDB, but I'm ashamed to admit that I have purchased products through DDB. I have books and races and things like that I was using when I was playing 5th edition with friends. And I don't know. I mean, I guess if I cancel, it's kind of like throwing money into the garbage can, but considering that I really don't plan on playing 5th edition again, at least in its current form or using D&D Beyond, I don't know. I've spent money on less fruitless things, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. I may just go ahead and do it myself anyway. Let's see. Let's take a look at our chat right here. Hey, Edge of Time. Bruno's is probably trying to avoid all the 1.1 specific comments online by changing the numbering. Lord Thoth says, hi, heading for grub, but hail. Lord Thoth canceled your Beyond sub. Okay. Violence solves everything. Do we have any hard evidence that this email is legit? I have no hard evidence that this email is legit. Okay, it could be just somebody random on the internet just popped up and threw it out there. However, okay, even if it is not legit, honestly, most companies and most people have already made the decision to terminate their relationship with WotC anyway. Castles and Crusades. Troll Lord Games came on Twitch just like a couple hours ago, and they pretty much said, "Hey, as soon as we got the notification of what the 1.1 was going to have, we said, okay, fine, we're cutting ties with them anyway." Apparently, Steven Chenault had wanted to cut the OGL out of Castles and Crusades already, and that was just the excuse that he needed. And honestly, I'm glad. I like Castles and Crusades. I like Steven Chenault. I like Jason Vey, although Jason Vey and I argue on Twitter sometimes. I still think he's a good writer, and I still like Amazing Adventures. They've got a good system. They've got a good setup. They have really, really good customer relations. And their products are really decent. I mean, they're printed here in the United States. It's all locally sourced. It's literally a homegrown company. Whereas I'm pretty sure that Paizo prints everything out of China, and I'm pretty sure that Wizard of the Coast also prints everything out of China. So there you go. Where's your money being spent, guys? Think about it. Outlandish Nor, always buy things you can keep. Yes, I agree. Which is why I always buy PODs when possible. And hey, Gen X Geek. So I'm going to talk to you about a product today. Oh, one more thing too. We did get some comments on Goodman Games. Goodman Games has said that they're going to be fine. They're going to continue on, and it's not even going to stop them. So good on you guys. But all right, let's take a look at our product for today. This one's kind of special to me because this is a guy who I've enjoyed his book for a long time now. I've backed his last Kickstarter. Greg Lambert, the guy who wrote Chronicles of Aeres. This is his book, obviously. Aeres is a 5th edition system. It is very Tolkien-esque in its high fantasy style, but it is a beautiful print copy. I think I've shown it off on the air a few times, so you guys have probably seen this a few times. I mean, I'm probably already sick of it. But I can tell you guys, this is going away. This is definitely going away. I talk to Greg almost every single day, and this whole thing with the 1.1 has basically just screwed him over. He had a new book on the way out, The Wilderkin, which was on Indiegogo. That is going to go the way of Castles and Crusades, he figures. He had other books that were out. He had just finished up the Doom that came to Astraeus, which was basically his barbarian type Robert E. Howard sort of setting. I think he had just gotten that off of Kickstarter. I don't know if he ever had any physical copies left. I know they went really, really quick, and I guess now he's going to be forced to retool everything. In fact, I think he is going to retool even this, all for Castles and Crusades, which is good, because I think Castles and Crusades is poised to be probably the next Pathfinder. Although I understand that Paizo is also creating their own open source system, and they're going to continue on. Most of the big companies are Kobold Press, Paizo. They're just going to pack up their toys and leave, make their own stuff, and that's good. That's what they should have done all along. But yeah, this is what you're going to be losing. Get some wonderful artwork here. He had some great artists work on this. You had 2 or 3 different versions of every species, and it had all the core races, but it also had a bunch of new ones like kobolds and things. Well, I mean, new in the sense that they're not usually in a PHB. You know, different versions of elves, different iterations of elves, and probably one of his most unique creations, I should say, which is the Wilderkin, which we're getting their own book. But the Wilderkin are basically beast races who are sentient, upright, uplifted, whatever you want to call them. But they're basically, they walk and talk and wear clothes and fight with swords and stuff. Yeah, these are the Wilderkin. And they can come in all shapes and forms, foxes, mice, dogs, bears, whatever. It's kind of cool. I hate to use the term furry, but yeah, you can see I had rats, we had ravens, we had all kinds of stuff. He had these Argent Draconavir, which were the dragon-blooded protectors. This was basically his take on the Dragonborn, but it's a little bit more elegant. Everything is a little bit more fleshed out. Everything has kind of a little bit more of an origin story tied into this. So it's not as generic as, say, 5th edition PHB stuff. And this particular class/race is also available as a single download for free on Big Geek Emporium. All I gotta do is look for it, Argent Drakenbeer. And I believe it is compatible with Castles and Crusades. I helped him tweak it a little bit, but it's his work. I'm not taking any claim or any cut for it. I just want to see my friend succeed. You can purchase this on Drive-Thru RPG. I'm going to discourage you strongly from buying it on DTRPG, and I will tell you why here shortly. I'm just trying to get through everything here. Here, we have a brand new class. We have the Witch, which is his own invention. We have moon phases here. We have primes. See, this has a pretty rich lore, a rich history. Even if you weren't going to use everything in this book as far as running Aeres itself, which you should because it's a good system, it's a good setting. There's plenty of stuff here to spark interest or ideas in your own stuff, and plenty of things you could swipe for yourself. And if nothing else, you could always just pull the book down and read it and enjoy it because it's got great art. It's got good little stories. It's got all kinds of things. Oh, look, Bruno, Crimson Hound. Yeah, that's right, Aaron Dragon. Paizo just announced a new Open RPG creative license in the works. Yeah. Well, I wish them luck. I was not a big fan of Pathfinder 2, but Pathfinder 1 was pretty awesome. So I don't know. I guess I don't know if they're going to come out with Pathfinder 3 or not, but I guess they'll come out with something. So you got some bad guys in here, of course, with full descriptions as to what they're up to and some particular key figures in it. So you're not totally just left in the dark on how to run this. And, this little camera I've got here is nice, but it doesn't really do justice to how nice these images look. I mean, let's see. Yeah. Look at that. I still love that picture. And this is one of the tragic figures of this particular setting. And if you want to learn about him, you're going to have to pick up the book. All right, moving through. Keeping it a little bit short tonight. I've got another stream to do. And this is pretty much the only thing I'm talking about this evening. But it is important. It's important to me because, Greg has always been somebody who I've been friendly with, and he's been on a lot of my shows, and he's always supported me as far as my shows go, and I'm happy to support him with what he is doing. And I think he has a great product, and it should be on your shelves. And I asked him, I said, how many books do you have left? He says, quite a few. So, okay. Yep, here we go with some actual bad guys, some stats. We have, of course, our Gazetteer. Pretty standard. We got some cities. We have some quest ideas. And they are low to mid-level. I believe we also have a full campaign in here, too. Let me see if I get there. Yeah, it's a complete world, so he's detailing everything. Here we have some magic weaponry and items. Yeah, so we do have some actual adventures built in. Look at that, man. It's like straight out of The Hobbit or something. That's just creepy. And this is not AI generated art. There's an actual artist working on all this stuff. So yeah, you have adventures built in. And I have errata with mine. But yeah, Errant Dragon, you were a little bit late. So yeah, this is the Chronicles of Aeres. Again, you could get this on Drive-Thru RPG. I'm going to recommend that you not do that. And the reason is because this link I'm posting up in the chat, because Greg is worried about his company. He's worried about his sales. He's worried about getting taken down by Wizards of the Coast, and he is pretty much committed to not having to deal with 5e anymore. He has taken this really beautiful and really thick book. Let me tell you, it was about, I want to say it was about 40, 50 bucks when I first bought it. Yeah, it's got a $40 price tag on it. He's marked it down to $10 on his website, on the website I just linked right there. On his My Shopify, it's $10. Don't get the PDF. Get the actual physical book. Now, my own personal plans, I'm going to buy about 9 or 10 of these with my next paycheck. I'm going to give a couple away to my friends because they don't have copies of this and they like things like this, and I think it would interest them. The other ones, I'm going to take down to my friendly local gaming store. I'm going to hand it to the owner, and I'm going to say, hey, these are going out of print. But I know the guy who wrote them. He's a friend. These are, I'm donating them to you. You can sell them for whatever you like at the store. You could sell them at a profit or whatever. This is at no cost to you, and you make as much money or as little money on them as you want. I don't care if you give them away. My goal is to make sure that this is not a forgotten property, and that somewhere down the line, somebody will remember that my friend wrote this and want to get a copy for themselves. And my camera's not cooperating with me today. But yeah, I'm going to try to make sure that this book stays out there for as long as he's got copies available. I'm going to kind of try to sell them here locally. It's all I can do. I'm not a huge distributor or anything else. And, I don't have those kind of connections. But, we do what we can to help our friends. And this is something that deserves not to be forgotten. When 5e crashes and burns, because apparently that's where it's going to go. I mean, well, I guess it's not going to be 5e anymore, is it? It's all going to be one D&D. And hey, here he is right now. Here he is in the chat. Hey, Greg. And Gen X Geek, you just bought a copy through the link. That's great. I only have 8 people watching right now. I hope that you catching this on the replay. I'll try not to keep it too terribly long. If you missed the link, I'll repost it right here. And I'll put it on screen so you can take it down. Like I said, he's selling them pretty much at a loss. So I don't know. If you got 5 players at your table, buy 6 copies, keep 1 for yourself, give the other 5 to your other players, and run a game of this. Get up on social media, talk to Greg. I'm going to post your link up there so that people can get a hold of you on Twitter, Greg. Let him know, hey, you've got a nice product. I like what you did. I hope you'll continue. And really, that's about all I've got to say. It's I think the book is beautiful enough and kind of sadly a little bit inexpensive enough that you'll rush right out and you'll buy a copy. I don't think I could convince you in any other way. If the good looking artwork, if the completeness of the rule set, if the world setting, all the new races, or well, mostly kind of old and new races and stuff. If all this stuff doesn't convince you that this is a worthwhile setting to pick up and at a price of $10, I don't know what else I can tell you. It's for the price of a PDF, you can have an actual physical book, and it's like Outlandish Noir said, always buy things you can keep. Well, this you can keep. So anyway, I guess that's about all I have to say on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do another stream again tomorrow night. It being Friday, I may just go out and decide to have a game myself. But if I don't, I don't know. I'm hoping to hear if Wizards of the Coast is actually going to do something, because we were supposed to get the OGL on the 13th. And apparently, like I said, it's supposed to be called OGL 2.0 now. So I don't know what the deal is. I can't see how they moved 9 versions in just a couple of days of getting the leak. But whatever, man. Like I said, I don't think there's anything they can do to get their audience back. Time will heal all wounds eventually. 1 D&D will come out. It'll probably crash and burn, just like 4th edition. And maybe Wizards of the Coast will learn their lesson. Maybe they'll replace a few presidents and a few other higher staff members, and maybe get some writers on board who are a little less political in their writing, and some people who are more dedicated to their craft. I certainly hope so. I would like to revisit Dungeons and Dragons in I don't know, 5 to 8 years with a new book. See what they've got. See how the community's changed. I hope I'm around that long. I hope you're around that long. I hope this show is around that long. I hope you're there to open it up with me. Oh yeah, Gizmodo announced the canceling of the OGL changes. All right, is that right? Because the Gizmodo article I read is that they've just upgraded it to 2.0. I don't know for sure. And Loki says it'll crash faster than the CNN streaming network. Yeah, maybe so, Loki. And hey, it's good to see you, Loki. You don't think there's anything to worry about until WotC releases this update? It's not official. I know that, Errant Dragon. Nothing is official. Nothing is official. But here's the thing. If the my thought is if the 1.1 was just a complete prevarication, a complete lie, completely made up troll document that had no veracity whatsoever in it, D&D would have come out and they would have gotten ahead of this thing and they would have said, "Hey, we weren't planning on releasing this yet, but here's our actual OGL. Whoever, leaked this 1.1 document was clearly just trying to subvert our 1D&D launch, and this is our actual proposed OGL changes." They would have gotten ahead of this. They would have PR changed this all the way. Instead, they have clammed up, they have firewalled, basically, they've muzzled all of their employees to keep them from saying anything. And they've not really told us anything. They promised us they were going to have a streaming session today. They didn't. We're supposed to get the OGL tomorrow. I bet we don't. So you tell me, guys, at this point, is there anything that would bring you back to play D&D at the OGL table as it is right now? Would you want to gamble on the OGL staying like it is? Because I wouldn't. 6 people who canceled their subscriptions? Yeah. Yeah, they changed the OGL to 2.0. It's very legit, is it? That's not official. Talk is old and lame. It's been a week. Yeah, it has been a week. Yeah, like I said, if they were going to do something, they would have already done it. So I don't have any faith in them. I think they know they shot themselves in the foot this time, and I think they're going to be backpedaling into damage control. And I don't know that it's going to be enough to save them right now. And if what the employee leaked was true, and that they will just quietly try to slide the original OGL that they were planning to release into the back door when everybody is kind of not looking, I don't think it'll matter because, like I said, Alexander McCrease is already changing Acts to Acts 2. He's pretty much getting rid of all of his stuff at fire sale prices for people who still want to pick it up. And then he's going to retool Paizo, totally going to retool Goodman Games, could care less. Troll Lord Games pretty much is divesting themselves of anything OGL. Kobold Press has got their Black Flag project. Lots of other small publishers are pulling their stuff off of Drive-Thru RPG as fast as they can. And quite a few of them are going to be retooling, which is good. So, it doesn't matter what WotC does at this point. They've messed up. And I don't think there's any coming back from it at this point. But we'll see. I've been wrong before. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I got too. According to IO9 sources, the new OGL, known as OGL 2.0, was supposed to go live on Thursday afternoon, along with a detailed fact explaining changes and addressing fan concerns. Yeah. I haven't seen it. Have you? Yeah. Paizo's kneecapping them. Yeah. Paizo's changing. Yeah, they're changing it to Safe Face. Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm. And yes, I agree, Aaron Dragon. It's irrevocable damage. But anyway, like I said, this week has been all about stuff you're going to lose under 1.1 in one way or another. Yes, a few of these companies are going to come back and they're going to retool and they're going to come back with a product that doesn't resemble the old OGL. But that's kind of the thing, it's one of the strengths of the OGL. One of the things that was consistent about the OGL was the fact that you could take stuff from one OSR system and kind of, smuggle it into another one. If you If you like the hireling tables out of Low Fantasy Gaming, you could use those. If you like the hit point system out of Blood and Coin, you could use that. If if you like the character creation system out of Dungeons and Delvers, you could use that, and you could marry all these elements together into one game and pretty much build the game you want using all the resources you want because they were all under that OSR license. Well, now I don't know. There's unless there is another great big giant unified source for everybody to go to, everybody's going to have their own game. They're going to have their own take on a game. I've got my own game I'm working on. It's not going to resemble OSR or the OGL or any of this. It's going to be its own thing. Um, is it going to be compatible with anything else? Probably not. And that's kind of the root of the problem. You're going to have 100 new games pop up, but they're not going to resemble each other too much. And they may not be compatible with each other as easily as everything was under the OSR when the OGL was strong. And that is kind of the thing that we've really lost, So WotC has just kind of irreparably damaged their brand. They've damaged their game, or games, I should say, because we had OGL that covered first edition D&D, OD&D, basic and expert D&D, BECME, second edition D&D, third edition D&D. There was a ton of stuff for third edition D&D. They didn't have anything for fourth edition D&D, but nobody cared because almost nobody played fourth edition. Fourth edition was crap. And yeah, this was fifth edition, and there was lots of stuff for fifth edition. There's still lots of stuff for fifth edition up on Dungeons Guild, on Dungeon Masters Guild. I don't know how many of these people are gonna pull their stuff from Dungeon Masters Guild. I mean, maybe they think that giving a chunk of their take to Wizards of the Coast is still a great idea. I don't know, but yeah, we lost. They lost. That's all I can say about it. You'll play test my game? Let me get it written first, huh? All right. Anyway, let this be the start of a new golden age for TTRPGs, okay? If there are 100 new TTRPGs, then the best thing I can do is wish everybody the opportunity to play as many of the new games coming out as possible. And with the era of social media being what it is, most of these guys are going to be up on Twitter and waiting to hear from you on how their new games are going to go. So, check out the companies you like, check out the games you like, leave feedback. Be respectful, please, because, if you have a gripe, it doesn't behoove you to say, "Hey, guess what? Your system sucks." Well, thank you. That was very creative. That was very helpful. Can you elaborate a little bit? Maybe tell me what sucked. But anyway, yeah. That's all I got for tonight. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you're catching this on the replay, hey, definitely pick up a copy of this. Okay? Not a single dime of this book is going to Wizards of the Coast. This is all going to my friend Greg Lambert. And as far as I'm concerned, every penny of whatever you spend on this is probably going to be spent for him to take the time that he needs to retool it and build it for Castles and Crusades, which I think it will be a better game for that. And I hope that the Chenaults will kind of help out on this a little bit. I still have a little connection with Stephen Chenault. So Chenault, I'm just gonna say, if you haven't already talked to Greg about this, talk to him. I know you're retooling your stuff too, but it wouldn't hurt your publishing company to have another book on their list. And I think Greg would love it. So there you go. There's my personal recommendation from me, the T-shirted historian. Whatever that's worth. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, and have a great night.
Look! Attention the Dragon Tribe!
Chronicles of Aeres.